So whose recipe is this?
Mom's.
How long have we been
We
making
sat
this?
down.
Pasties.
Oh, forever. I made pasties when I was little. In fact, I made them in the 8th grade.
So did you learn from Grandma Cumbo or from Nellie? Who?
Mom.
From Mom?
Mm-hmm. And I think Mom's was more or less her own recipe because she made them to sell in the grocery store we owned for a few years.
Where was the grocery store?
Across the street from the house. On
Empire?
Mm-hmm.
What did it have a name? I remember the grocery store, but did it have a name?
Well, when I was growing up, it was Lavelle's, and then it was, what was her name? Flossie's. And I think Dad bought it from Flossie. He sold the bar across the street, the
Sold
Big
the
Tavern. And he bought the ranch out on Elk Park and the little store. Mother used to make pasties to sell over there, and she'd make at least 100 a day and run them over to the house to cook them. Back and forth, back and forth.
100 of them?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So this is what she sold.
And do you remember at all what they went for back then?
Oh, not very much. I really don't know, to tell you the truth. I wonder if Shirley might remember.
So what's in the bowl?
We're in high school. This is,
You got
well, for the recipe I have, it's 1 large onion, 8 fist-size potatoes, and lots of meat. And you dice them up. Cut the onions really small, according to Mom. In fact, she'd have you cut the potatoes even smaller than I did, but sometimes I like them a little bit bigger, so. And then salt and pepper. That's the only seasoning I
And you roll out some flour in a circle and
have. You roll out the crust.
the crust.
In a comparative circle, I guess you'd say, enough to. What Mother's recipe called for was 1 full cup of mixture. We figured that out. Well, and that was for the ladies or the kids. And then you made it a little bit bigger for the mans, see those.
And then you just folded it over and pinched
Fold it
the
over, and then you do it
sides.
just like you do a pie crust. You keep going over like that to seal it.
After you cut the excess off.
Right. Sometimes your cut will go too short and it doesn't stick just right. But
And what's the pastry made of, or the shell?
it's for pasties. You make it a little bit heavier than what you make for pie, and it's for 6 to 8 pasties, depending on the size you're going to make them. You use 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of Crisco and 3 cups of flour. Then you like to have your crust a little moist. And then after you make it, and the water you put in is 1 cup. First you take an egg and you beat it up good. Then you put in 1 tablespoon of vinegar, and then you fill the rest of the cup with cold water. And then you make your crust. And then, as I say, you try to have it a little bit moist. And then you put it in the refrigerator for a while. You want to work with cold crust because it rolls better, and I don't know, it just seems to handle better. We've tried it every way, so.
So do they sell these pasties in the Big View Tavern too?
No.
No, was there food in there, or is it just the
Oh, there
tavern?
was Minnie Massa was her name, and she had a sandwich place in there. And it was one of the best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, etc. that you could buy. You could smell them all over the neighborhood. And people from all over goes. They were, and she was there even after we sold it for a while.
So that's, you put in, looks like a good heaping cup
Yeah.
per pasty. That's a large pasty.
That's for the smaller one. And then,
For a small one.
yeah, and then less for, more for a bigger one.
So this is considered a small one, you're saying?
Yeah, this is would be about this size. I've got a variety of sizes, as you know. Generally, I have them a little more uniform, but I can only stand this on my hands, so. You can use the crust that you cut off and mix it with the other, because if it's moist, it'll mix well with it.
So you just reuse that, put it back in the rest of the dough, or crust.
Keep it wet.
You keep it covered in the plastic and keep it moist.
Mm-hmm. And saran wrap does pretty good for that. I don't know what Mother used before, but I think they just covered their bowls in those days with a cloth.
Now we always have the little finger pasties too. When did we start using those? Is that always from the start even?
No, I don't remember them at first. And they're made with ground hamburger.
Oh, ground, yeah.
Grated.
Because they're so small.
Yeah, and grated potatoes. And really tiny onions. And because they are so small. And there's several different crusts. You can even make a delicious crust with cream cheese instead of the...
Did you see on our refrigerator, Mom, we have that copper pasty? That's that copper, that's a pasty in
Where did you get that?
the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh,
They have pasty shops all over there.
well, a good share of these people came from Michigan. So there's a lot of, even our ancestors came from Michigan. And we're trying to find out more about them, so we've got a lot of gathering of information. And Claire's been working hard. Kathy Wolf has been working hard on it. Dawn's going to help with the pictures.
For the family reunion in July.
In July, so I know they're waiting for me to get home to go with them and get it started. Well, it's more than started. Claire has gotten all the information from the families. I took all the stuff down to Jim and Sharon, and Sherry took theirs and called everybody and got all the information for her. And then Claire called everyone and got them. Now they all have to send in new pictures of their family, so that it'll be recent pictures that'll go in there.
Oh, good.
And it'll just be the Cumbo family, you know, all of my brothers and sisters, and then their kids and great-grandkids now. Jim and Sharon have 4.
Where are they going to have them?
And it's,
Have the
well, they've changed it so often, but it's my understanding it's going to be up at the old Boy Scout camp, which is just off of our property up in the lowlands.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it would be very interesting for everybody, you know, to go and see that. There's
Some good memories of.
right. And there's sort of like
Right.
a park up there, and it's got a covered pavilion, and a lot of things going for it that would help. And then the brunch on Sunday will be at Uncle Jerry's. He's was like he had Jim and Johanna's reception there.
Oh,
Or
great.
rehearsal, I should
That's a
say,
good
rehearsal.
place for a party.
Yeah, it's a nice big yard, and I thought they could. I'm getting many more pasties out of this than I thought.
So that's a lot of pasties.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I should be only getting 8. So I might end up putting in a little pasty pie if I don't have enough crust left. We'll see what happens.
I also remember Grandma Cumbo. She used to take the extra dough, or the extra
Oh,
crust.
yes,
And what would
roll
she
it
do?
out.
She would roll it out
She'd
and.
roll it out thin, and then she'd cover it with butter, and then cinnamon and sugar. And we used to call it cinnamon rolls. Of course, it isn't, but
So she roll it out like make
Just
make
like
a
this.
1-inch strip or what?
no, you just roll it out, and then you'd cut it into strips.
Oh, and then when it's flat, you cut it into strips, and
after
then
you buttered it and put the cinnamon and everything on it. And
those strips you would roll up before you put it in the oven, right?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
they were
make,
good.
Rings. Like I say, we call them cinnamon rolls, but I've been told before that they aren't cinnamon rolls, but we don't care.
That's what we call them.
Yeah.
How about I remember too when we used to make the pasties before we put them in the oven, you'd take a piece of lard from the meat and you'd put
Well, not lard, but the
a piece of fat.
Right.
And you'd put it on top of the pasty.
And that was to help brown it, because many times it doesn't brown appetizing enough if you just put it in plain.
So do we still
Now
do that,
it's-
or?
Well, I do sometimes, it just depends. The healthier way to go is just to take an egg white, beat it up, and then paint the top.
Oh, yeah.
And it does the same.
I like that better.
Well, it's
Less fat.
more healthy, yeah. Now Howard, at the pasty shop, they make their crust with lard still.
Oh, they do.
Is it flaky? I mean, it's delicious, but it's certainly not a healthy,
Pretty fattening.
yeah. And we made it from lard at the beginning. But it's been many, many years since we've made it with lard.
Okay, well, we'll check in later and see how they go into the oven and how they're coming. Okay, Mom, what you doing here?
Well, now you put the beaten egg whites on instead of putting the fat from the meat on to get it a little brown, so it looks a little better.
Is that just for looks?
Yeah, it's mainly for looks. Tastes fine with that. I ran a little long on filling and not enough crust, so
There's Mama.
this one is the little patched one with the whatever was left. Now, I'm going to put these in the oven.
So, what did you preheat the oven to what?
375 for 15 minutes. And then, or no, 400 for 15 minutes and down to 375 for 45.
So again, preheat it for 400 degrees, and you put the pasties in for how long?
Of course, I put them in the wrong pan. This will not fit in here.
And wouldn't you know, we got this small oven you can't put it in. So we've got to transfer the pasties.
Which is sort of.
Okay, pasties in the oven, take 2. Put them on a smaller pan. And again, Mom, it's 400 degrees for how long?
15 minutes. Pound ready. Let's see. Start. And these happen to go in here. Why didn't I? What I'll do is cook those and then put these in.
And then after the 15 minutes,
Then I will set it to 375 for 45.
375 for 45. Okay, here it comes out of the oven. Wow, look at those pasties. Golden brown.
It's amazing that
They look great, Mom.
all the discoveries they've made about the importance of
So we got, what was it again? 15 minutes at 400 degrees and 45 minutes at 375.
Yeah.
And then you threw in 2 more.
Right, for the same amount. I put the others in because it's already so hot. I put it at 375 for an hour.
Okay, and now we're going to make some coleslaw. And what do you like to serve it with? Gravy?
Yes, I've got the gravy on right now.
And I like it when they're cold, I like it with ketchup. That's my favorite.
It's gotta have ketchup.
Hot, it's got to be gravy.
Now, should we just put the bottle on there?
The bottle of what?
Ketchup.
Alrighty. Good stuff, Mom.